Kaboom! We're live. Happy afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Let's wait for some people to jump in the chat. We're out here. Just finished some sourcing. Picked up a few items this morning. Haven't spent as much as I wanted, but that's part of the game. We got Fam. We got Albert, Lois, Beverly, and the rest of the Amazon maniacs. I already got 18 people in the chat. Come on the podcast, bro. Yeah, send me a DM. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the podcast, but maybe we could do that. I'll jump into Discord, or if I don't get the DM. My DMs have been flooded. We just hit 10,000 followers on the IG, and I'm very happy and grateful for that. We've tripled the follower count in the last month. A little background information for those that are just tuning in with me. I'm a record producer. I have been doing so for about 10 plus years. I run a label, 95 Labs. Most people know me in the city of Miami and New York City as Tev95. You can check me on Spotify. I've got an extensive catalog, and I've been selling on Amazon for over a year. And just recently, at the end of January, I decided to share my journey and do some reels, bagging and tagging some items and showing you guys what I do, in addition to the fitness and everything else that I do, the beats. And when I tell you that thing just blew up, I got people from high school calling me. I got people DMing me. My whole DM box is flooded, and people are really interested in this type of content. I've been doing it, so I'm going to lean into it and provide more of a service here as far as, letting people know what the real sauce is. You got people hitting you up on your feed probably with these ads and all this fancy, highly produced video telling you to buy their course. And while we do have a course to offer, not mine, but the FBA roadmap from the 7-figure sellers that I work with, it's linked in my Discord. I'm here to be approachable. I'm here to share my journey and share the sauce with you guys. Hop into the Discord. We see Roman jumped in there. Everything is linked in the bio. B-Man's here. How do I get the re-verification? My seller's account got deactivated. Contact customer service. Guys, I'm not customer service for Amazon. I'm here to share my journey as far as, what works for selling. I've never gotten my account deactivated. So you got to be responsible, guys. Stay on top of it. I'm not here to set up your printer settings. I'm not here to explain math to you. What I'm here is to show you what works for me. And the top things that you guys need to do is get the ball rolling. You got to get some listings. You got to start sourcing products, and you need to learn how to use the software tools. As far as whether you need an LLC and, if your account got deactivated, that's not my forte. My forte is learning the charts and sourcing products and figuring out what works to make sales. And that's what you guys should focus on. So for those that are asking, you do not need an LLC to get started selling on Amazon. You could set up your account with your own personal name and social, or in your own personal bank account, and you can get the ball rolling immediately. That's exactly how I started. And you can worry about transitioning into an LLC later on if you figure out what you do or what you're doing works. You got to verify this on your own. You got to learn to fish before you decide to be a commercial fisherman. So that's the first thing you need to figure out: how to use this, how to get the sales rolling in and get yourself comfortable and see what you're capable of. Some people have a high IQ and some people don't. And you got to figure out where you're on that scale and what you're capable of. I'm in groups with people that sell 7 figures a year, 6 figures a month, and I'm nowhere near that. But that's what I'm aiming for, and I want to scale into that. And when you start, you shouldn't really be thinking about what you're gonna make. You got to also think more about along the lines is what you're capable of and figuring out what works for you first. I got 50K views on Pinterest, 100 of pins, but no sales on Amazon. I'm not sure what you're selling. We're only selling verifiable products here with a verifiable sales history. That's what I'm just saying before. You got to learn how to read the analytics. I don't do private label. That's another approach, and it could be lucrative if you have the right product, but that requires advertising. And I don't advertise in any of the listings that I have. They sell themselves because I'm only buying onto products, Nike, Adidas, and name brand products that already are being searched and are already selling X amount of times per month. They have a low sales rank, and there's no reason to promote them. They promote themselves. So, you may, I don't know what you're selling. Some people take the approach of trying to create their own product and they want to promote it. And listen, it could be lucrative. That's just not the approach that we do. Do you have to get verified to sell branded products? Yes, yes. You got to get verified for most of the branded products, the bigger ones, the Nikes and the Adidas. I have the details, instructions on how to get ungated. That's the term that we use in the industry, the ungating process. And the instructions are in my Discord. The Discord is free to jump in. So guys, take advantage while the Discord's free. And, I'm doing what I can. I'm spending a lot of time answering questions that, in fact, really are not going to help you make more sales or make me make more sales, really. But I'm here to serve first. Before I ask, give me, I'm here to help. But I don't know how long that Discord is going to be open for free. I'm going to have to put a barrier to entries because sometimes, people are asking me to set up their printer. And, I'm not doing that. I'm not here to set up. I'm not tech service, guys. But anyhow, yes, the answer is you do have to get ungated to sell branded products. The instructions are there in the Discord. Basically, you need an invoice from a major retailer or distributor that says that you bought 10 products of the brand, and it needs to match your name and address on your seller account. Where could you find that? It's in the link to my bio. All the instructions there. So in my Discord, which is a chat like WhatsApp, but a little bit more comprehensive, I have different instructions, and it's a repository of information. It has, I'm looking at it right now. That's why I'm looking off screen. It has, ways to get started, where to go to get your seller account, an explanation how to start sourcing for products, the software tools that I use. We use 2 software tools, SellerAmp and Keepa. These are must-haves, in my opinion, if you really want to get the analytics on the data of the listing. The software tools are listing there. The ungating process, which is the approval process that I just explained. Cashback apps. If you're not using cashback apps, you're leaving money on the table. And then, of course, the supplies that I use. You're going to need some supplies, the poly bags, the labels and stuff, and it's all there. I'm all in, just need to start listing. There you go. Yeah, you got to, that's exactly what you need to do, Latin lady. That's exactly. You hit the nail on the head. You need to start listing. You got to start making sales. Before you guys worry about how much money you're going to make and whether this is going to work or not, open up the account and start making sales. The easiest thing to start selling immediately is books, CDs, DVDs that you already have in your house or that you can get for free. That's the easiest thing. Before you worry about getting ungated for Nike and getting ungated and approved for all these big brands, start selling stuff that you could sell immediately. Okay, immediately. That's CDs, DVDs, and books. And there's a lot of brands that are auto ungate. We have lists that we've shared several times in that Discord as well. And basically, you just request approval, and you answer a question or two that says that you understand that you're not selling, you're not allowed to sell counterfeit products, which is obvious, and they let you right through the door. And an example of that I know right off my head is like Huggies brand. Huggies is auto ungate. Billy says, I just want to get started. That's right. Just that's exactly what you guys got to do. Just get started. Just start making a sale or 3, get your confidence up, and then you can worry about scaling into the bigger brands and getting ungated and approved and, one thing at a time first, sell a book first. Amazon started selling books. That's how the website started. You could sell the books used. You could sell books, DVDs, CDs. You could sell games. I just listed some video games. I mean, how much money is good to start with? I started with about $1,000 to $2,000, but all you really need to get started is the seller account. The seller account costs $40 a month if you're going to have Amazon fulfill your orders. If you fill your own orders, you don't even have to pay. And then the 2 analytical software tools that you are going to need because you want to make sure that you're buying products that have verifiable sales histories are SellerAmp and Keepa. They're $20 each. So for less than $100 in a month, you're up and running. And then, of course, the more inventory and products you can buy, the more sales you can make. So I don't know, I don't know what your bank is or not. But you could buy a couple $100 worth of products. You could buy a couple $1,000 worth of products. I recommend that, you cast a wider net and you start, you buy an array of different products so you can find out what's working and what niche that you can focus on. Me personally, I do apparel, but I didn't start like that. Like I said, I started just selling books, CDs, and DVDs. And then when I started learning how to get approved for these brands, I said, I like apparel, I like Nike, I like Adidas. So I started focusing more on that. And that's how I scaled. But my first sales and seeing how the process works, and getting my money back was with books, CDs, and DVDs. And again, now I'm even doing some games, new games, but I know you could sell used games as well. I just got denied on Nike saying it's because I need to buy from a manufacturer and Kohl's isn't valued. That's not true. You can get ungated with Kohl's. The ungating process is kind of random. We had someone right now, not right now, but yesterday in the Discord, that they said they use an invoice from soccer.com and they got ungated, and they even posted the email that said, "Welcome, you got approved from Nike." So you just got to keep trying. It's completely random. I've seen people that they've tried 5, 6, 7 times before they got approved for a big brand. And then I see people that are brand new sellers that they try the first time and they get approved. So, don't let that be a hurdle for you to get started. Again, get started with stuff that you can sell. And there's plenty of brands that you could sell. If you search Auto Ungate in my Discord, there's lists. There's plenty of lists with hundreds of different items that you can use to get ungated and start getting the ball rolling. Most of the grocery items, a lot of the beauty brands are ungated. So you could start scanning items in Marshalls, TJ Maxx, etc. And you can get the ball rolling. You don't have to worry about Nike right now or Adidas. Where do I get your free information you're talking about? It's right in my Discord. It's linked in my bio. I got the A+ Amazon Sellers Group. If you clicked on my link tree, it's right there at the top. You just slide into the Discord. We got a couple people just joining right now. Rose, D. Lee, Roman. I see you guys. If you're watching the live stream, I see you guys. So, go in there, look around first. The simple stuff is already laid out for you. There's really not much to help you. It's like, here's the link to get started. Here's the link to open up an account. Here's the software tools that we use. Here is the cashback tools that we use. Because when you're buying inventory online and at the stores as well, you want to make sure you get some cash back. So I use Top Cashback and Rakuten. I really use Rakuten more. But Top Cashback sometimes has some better cash back. So anyhow, you want to make sure, if you use Rakuten today, I think they have 8% off Nike, or not off, cash back. So, can I sell gated category as new? Most of the stuff we sell is new, and you got to get ungated and approved. And again, if you search in my Discord at the top bar, there's a search bar. You put Auto Ungate. There's plenty of lists. People have been sharing. Look, I got Auto Ungated on this, and there's a big spreadsheet somewhere going around. There's a lot of information. And again, the ones that are easier to get approved for are usually in the beauty and grocery categories. Now, the apparel categories are not really Auto Ungate. You're going to have to submit an invoice. And then that's kind of hit or miss for new sellers. Some people, they've tried a few times before they get approved. Some people try one time and then they get approved. I know someone that they tried with Adidas like 6, 7 times and then they got approved. And then they've been trying with Nike the same way and they haven't gotten approved. And then last night, someone just posted, "Hey guys, I got approved for Nike. I used the invoice from soccer.com. Soccer.com provides invoices, so you can use them. And they don't only sell Nike, they sell most of the big brands, Adidas and Puma. So you can use those invoices to submit for approval. It's really not that hard. A lot of you guys are getting hung up with the ungating process. A lot of you guys are getting hung up about what your address should be and what your LLC name and all that stuff. I wouldn't so much focus on that. The things that you need to focus on is going out there and scanning products, going out there and learning the software tools, and actually making sales. Make some sales first. Sell a few units first. How do you check distributor authenticity? I'm only buying from legit distributors, from legit websites, from legit retail stores, the big ones. I'm not buying from mom and pops or from a Funny Bunny store. So that's how I check. I'm not buying from anything obscure. I'm buying from the big dogs. Can you buy 5 units and sell on Amazon, or does it have to be a certain amount of units? No, it doesn't. Once you get approved to sell in a category or for a brand, you could sell 1, 2 units. It doesn't matter. You just put how many units you have. You add product to the listing, and then you just say, okay, I got X amount of units. It could be 1. That's a good question, though. But when you get an invoice for approval, you need to have at least 10 units on that invoice so that you could submit for approval. Do you have to sell those 10 units on Amazon? No. Do you have to list 10 units? No. But for you to get approved, you need to have an invoice from a legit retailer or a distributor that says, your name and address, and it says where it came from, and it also has to say that you bought 10 items of that brand. So it could be, 10 Nike socks or 10 Puma socks. I'm saying stuff that's cheap so that, it's a little cheaper for you to take the risk. Don't worry so much about if you're going to sell the stuff that you're getting ungated with. You're kind of just using it for the purpose of getting ungated. That was cool. Someone just hit me up with a thumbs up that came out like a bubble. I've never seen that before. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, hit me with the questions, guys. The most important thing, though, guys, is to get the ball rolling and stop thinking so much about the little stuff that's not going to make you money. That's what I mean. I'm answering DMs and questions all day long, so I get a perspective that some of you guys don't get. And I got to say, sometimes I'm disappointed in you guys. Not everybody, but some people ask stuff that it's like, yo, this is not going to make you any money. Like, you got to just get the ball rolling. I want to be ungated in food department. Does the Frontier Co-op wholesale work with the first timer without the LLC? I think with Frontier, the wholesale stuff, I think you need an LLC to deal with a wholesaler. But to get ungated in some of the groceries, you can get groceries from Marshalls. You can get groceries from Target. Yeah, Marshalls has a lot of beauty products, normally 1 or 2. B-Man says not anymore. You need an LLC now. Yeah, I think with Frontier. Frontier's a wholesaler. And I do believe that you need an LLC to open an account with them. But you do not need an LLC to sell products on Amazon. You can do so with your own personal name. And I started like that. So you don't have to worry about all this extra. Because you got people, before they even make a sale, they're opening up an LLC and they bought a virtual address and they spend $500, $600, $700 and they still haven't even made a sale. So I think that's hustling backwards, honestly. I think what you need to do is create the wheel and that's verifiable, that you can see that it works, that it's returning you some money on the sales, and then you can worry about fixing up the settings and crossing the T's and dotting the I's. But what you need is sales first, guys. That's the most important things. If you want to be a seller, then the first thing you need is sales. You can worry about all the other details later. And again, the easiest thing to sell, guys, is books, CDs, DVDs, and I'll throw in used games as well, too. Some of you guys may have used games. And Marshall has a lot of beauty products. I already read that. But, to give you guys an example, I went to Marshall's the other day, and sometimes I don't always hit at Marshall's. I went a couple times, and the second time I went, it was a miss. But I went with the fam for about 20, 30 minutes. I started scanning beauty products, and I came across like some hair cream or something from a brand that I never even heard of, but the numbers were right. I don't exactly remember what the numbers were, but let's give an example. I think I was getting the product for like 10, and it was selling for 30. And they only had a few units. But I'm like, let me buy these. But right there in store, I checked the brand, and I went to add the listing, and it said, oh, you need approval to sell this listing. So I clicked on request approval. And then it just said, you've been approved. So a lot of those like obscure, smaller brands, you don't need to go through the whole entire invoice process. So that was an auto ungate. And I was like, great, boom, I'm approved. And I just bought the products right then, and I've sent them in. That wasn't too long ago. Yeah, so, in places like Marshall's, Target, Walmart, and all that, there's plenty of products that you could probably find on clearance or for a major discount that you could just relist on Amazon. You go out there and start scanning with your Seller Amp app. I have the Seller Amp software tool linked in my Discord. You can start scanning, and that'll tell you what the max cost that you're looking for is compared to the current sales price and your target ROI. I think the default's 30%. I like to have a 30% target ROI after the fees. I just explained the app I use for scanning is SellerAmp, and it's not free. No, it's $20 and change a month, so $20-something a month. No contract. It's you can cancel anytime. Listen, guys, if you're serious about making sales, you need tools. You can't be a construction worker and not have power tools. I mean, you can. You want to go ahead and try to build something with a hammer and nail. I'm sure you can. It's going to take you twice as longer, and you're not going to be able to build as high. Do I do one-on-one calls? Yeah, I have that available in my LinkedIn tree, also in my bio. I added a few more days of availability. So if you want to book me for a one-on-one call, you could do it there through my calendar and just book and pay for it right there. And I'll be available. We could do Zoom. We could do IG, however you want. But usually it just sends you a Zoom link automatically. Sending shipment for the first time and have 20 plus of one item. Is Amazon going to ask proof of purchase? It was an auto ungate. No, if you're already ungated, they're not gonna ask you for proof of purchase. But I do recommend for everything that you purchase, save the receipts. So if for any reason a customer complains and says no, that these are not legit items, or for any reason, or if they lose the items or anything, you want to keep receipts. Always keep receipts. This is part of business. You want to make sure that you are organized and keep the receipts for everything. They're not going to ask them for them, but let's say if they for whatever reason lose them, or like I said, a customer complains and say, no, these are not legit items, you have paperwork. But if you're ungated and you send in products, you're not going to be asked for any proof of purchase. Pedro says, thumbs up. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I am available for the one-on-ones. I've already taken a few calls one-on-one because people have been asking me. So I'm making myself available for some time. You can check my calendar there. And, I'll add more time when I can. But I just added a few more hours for next week. And I have maybe a couple more slots for this week. And then I'm booked. But, they're available. And you can always check that out. And if you guys are really serious about learning everything and learning all the secrets and all the details of the charts and basically learning everything, there's the FBA Roadmap course that's taught by the same seven-figure sellers that I learned from, that I'm in a mastermind group with. And that course is $600. It's over 20 plus hours of content, and it covers everything down to the detail. So if you're serious and you want to invest in yourself and in your business, that's the course to take. It's not my course. It's the one that I recommend. And that one's also linked in my link tree and in my Discord as well. It's called the FBA Roadmap. I highly recommend it. You could try to figure everything out on your own. The information is out there and you can bounce around from YouTube video to YouTube video, but it's going to take you months to learn everything. It will take you months through trial and error of learning everything. This, you could fast track yourself a lot faster. If you're interested with that, that's the one I recommend. I'm in a mastermind group with these guys that I paid several thousand to be in because I want to surround myself with players that are in the game that are way above me as far as revenue. And like I said, these guys do 7 figures plus. So, they're vetted, they're legit. And I know that their course is better than the one that I can provide right now. So I don't have a course. But I do make myself available here for free on IG. I answer as many questions as I can on the Discord because I do want to be a leader. I do want to give back to the community, and I want to build a community of accomplished sellers. So I'm excited when I see people say, yeah, I finally got ungated for Nike. I'm excited when people jump in the Discord and they post, I sold $200, $300 today, and they post their screenshot. I'm excited when people post, I'm sending my first FBA shipment, and they show the boxes. So we got a lot of beginners in our group, and due in part by my leadership and the rest of the leaders that we have in that group that are helping each other. Shout out to B-Man, especially. He's been helping a lot. And shout out to Albert as well. And he's in the group with me as well. So we got a couple guys that already are making some sales, and they're helping as well. Have you a warehouse or 3PL? No, Amazon stores all my inventory. So I do fulfillment by Amazon. I get all the products and I send it to them. They house and store my products, and they fulfill the orders for me as they come in, and then I get paid. And they also handle the customer service. So for whatever reason, if there's a return, they don't have to return it to me. They return it back to the Amazon warehouse. Amazon inspects the product and deems whether it's sellable or not. 90% of the time it is, and they just restock it for you and they'll sell it again. So it's rare that I get the items returned back to me in an unsellable condition. And when it does happen, it's usually with kids' shoes. I've talked about this before. I've gotten a couple kids' shoes back that they were obviously worn, and I could could have complained about it. But this is part of Amazon's business model. They accept almost all returns, and the sellers need to eat that cost up. But again, it's not significant enough that it's damaging my business at all. So it's just part of the game. This year I've only gotten 2 shoes back out of literally probably hundreds of shoes that I sold. So it's not a problem. Those, I would say, that is the category that I've noticed that has the most returns, is kid shoes. And it's understandable because you buy shoes for some kids that may not fit. They simply may not fit, and they order a couple pairs. They'll order size 6, size 7, and to see which one fits, and then they return the ones that don't fit. I mean, it's just part of the game. But again, most of the time they're in sellable condition. They send them back to Amazon. Amazon restocks them for you, and you're good to go. So you don't really have to do anything. What's going on with the new FBA placement fees? We were talking about that in another group, and they're wild, man. There's some new FBA placement fees, but they're kind of like shoving them at you and forcing you to do them. But if you go into your settings, FBA settings, if you click on the little rotary wheel at the top and then you go to FBA settings, you can edit those settings to not have to do that, or to lower the amount of shipments. So what they're trying to do is have you send it all to one warehouse, and then they want to charge you to distribute it to all the different warehouses. But if you choose for you to send it to multiple warehouses, then you don't have to pay some of those fees. But on one hand, they are raising the placement fees, but some of the FBA fees are being lowered too. So look into it. There's a couple of videos. These new fees things and this placement stuff just started on March 1st. So there's a lot of content being published about it and how to work around it. Yeah, but yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I had someone like the other day just send me a screenshot like, yo, what's up with this placement fee? So it was like only $15 in shipping, and then they wanted to charge like X amount for placement fees. I think it was like $60 or something. And he was like, yo, I've never seen. And I was like, I've never seen that either. And I was like, oh, this is that new thing that they're doing. So you just got to change your settings. You can play with the settings and see what's more beneficial for you. Yeah, just change the settings. Or guys, for a lot of the newbies, you shouldn't even have to worry so much about fulfillment by Amazon. Like, you're not going to have a lot of inventory, so you could fill some of that orders yourself. And actually get your money back a lot quicker. So let's say that you went to Target or Walmart or Costco or wherever you went, and you sourced some products that you got auto ungated for, you bought them. You can list them that same day, and they have the potential to sell that same day. You could ship them out tomorrow morning and get paid ASAP, as opposed to doing it through Amazon fulfillment. It takes a lot longer because you need to prepare those items, put the effing SKU labels on them. You got to send them over to Amazon. Amazon needs to process all that before they make them available for sale. And that process can take 2-3 days, or it could take 2 weeks, depending on what fulfillment center you're sending it to and what the traffic is. And, they got fulfillment centers throughout the entire U.S. or throughout the world, really. But, we're talking about U.S. selling. And it varies. That's the whole point. So each time that you send out the package to Amazon, they're going to tell you to send it to a different fulfillment center based on their logistics, based on the inventory. Like, they have this whole system, and it'll just tell you. You can't change it. So it'll tell you, okay, send it here, and etc. Do you think it's too late to send Easter items for FBA? No. When is Easter? The beginning of April, right? I think you may have time. You probably have like another week or so. I think you may have time. I don't focus so much on seasonal products, although there's plenty of people that do. So there's a bag there for sure. I like to focus on products that have a verifiable sales history year round. But yeah, there's definitely a bag there. If you have Easter products. But, if another March 31st is Easter. Oh, for some reason I thought it was in April. Okay. I mean, it's kind of cutting it close. You may also want to consider FBMing them, fulfillment by merchant. Instead of sending them into Amazon, you fill the orders yourself. So, unless you're going to send it out this week to the warehouse, you probably need, or should, not need, you probably should fulfill those orders yourself. I need Dove brand approval. Yeah, then buy 10 Dove brand from Target and use that invoice. I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard. Are you able to send different products in the same package, or is everything sent separate? No, you could send multiple. You could send a variety. Like I'll give you an example. I had some shoes, some games, and I think some art supplies that were all in the same box. It'll tell you what to put in what box, but yeah, you can mix them up. So when you pick all the items that you're selling, you tell them how many items you're going to send and replenish to your Amazon FBA inventory, and then it'll tell you how many boxes you need to split it up to. Usually, you can put them all in the same box if there's not that many. Now, if you're sending a truckload, which most of you guys are not because you're getting started, then it may be different. It's usually in April, and thank you. Yeah, it is usually in April. I don't know. B-Man said it's March 31st. I believe him. So you're kind of cutting it close. I mean, maybe if you send it this week to Amazon Warehouse, it should be there on time. But you also got to think that people are buying things for Easter already, so you kind of want to catch that wave as soon as possible. So, a wise thing to do would probably be to just fill the orders yourself, because you can just send them out. So if you got Easter decoration or Easter candies or anything that you may have that Easter related, just fulfillment by merchant. You fill the order yourself, so if someone buys it, they can buy it today, you can send it tomorrow. What software do you use for shipping labels? It's no real software. It's just Amazon gives you a PDF file that you can print to your printer. And all the supplies that I use are listed in my Discord. The thermal printer that I use, the labels that I use, etc. They're all listed there. Now, as far as printer settings, that's kind of a hassle to get it right. But once you get it right, you should be good. Now, I have a lot of people asking me, help me with these printers. It's been over a year since I set up my printer. I really don't remember, and that's not what I'm doing. But once you get it, you'll get it. There's 100 videos out there on setting up your printer settings and stuff, man. But to answer your question, once you do the order, Amazon will have a button that says get SKU labels, and it'll send you a PDF with the labels. And you just print those labels to your printer, and then you got to make sure your printer settings are right. It's 2x1 labels, and you could search for it. There's plenty of videos there. I remember it being kind of a mission at first to get the settings right, but then once you get the settings right, you leave them, and you don't have to do it. You only got to do it once, and that's it. They're set. Yeah, you got to have patience with that, that technical stuff. And know that, like I said, most of that technical stuff you set up once and it's good to go for forever until you get a new computer or whatever. And these thermal printers are good because you don't need to get ink or anything. They print with like a heat thing. So there's no ink required. And I used a Rollo printer, and I'm really happy with it. I've never had a problem with it. I wish I would have gotten the wireless one, honestly, because I moved my laptop around and stuff, and every time I need to print the labels, I got to go and print, plug in the USB to the printer. I mean, it's I'm not going to say it's a hassle, but it'd probably be more convenient to have had a wireless one. But the wireless one was a little more expensive, and at the time that I got it, I was like, oh, I want to save the money, and it's kind of like that nickel and diming mentality that I'm trying to get away from. Guys, don't nickel and dime. Just, be abundant and just go with the right thing first, and don't try to cut any corners. Invest in your education, invest in the group that you want to be in, and do everything the right way, and then you set yourself up to be in a position to win more than the next man or woman. I'll take a few more questions. But yeah, I spent the morning sourcing, and I only spent like $100. I'm looking for products, and that's the number one thing that you guys are going to be doing if you're serious about selling on Amazon, is sourcing products. You don't got to worry about your printer settings or the LLC or all these technical questions. What you got to worry about the most is buying inventory, because if you're not buying, you're dying. You need to have more inventory if you want to sell more, and you got to be buying. Basically, you want to constantly be buying. As you grow and you make sales, you want to buy more, and that's how you can grow your revenue. You got to have that inventory up. So that's like the number one thing that you guys need to practice, that I'm still practicing. You got to make sure that you know the chart correctly so that you're not buying inventory that's going to sit on the shelves and not sell. Because sometimes you may come across something that looks like it's going to make money, but like, you overlook the data and it may not be moving as fast as you think. It may not have a low sales rank. You got to look at the data. That's the most important thing. We want products that sell consistently, not that we have to sit on for 2-3 months so that we can make 40% ROI. I'd rather sell something in a week and make 25% ROI than to sit on something for months and make a higher ROI. I want that wheel turning and rotating as quick as possible and get that cash flowing so that I can reinvest it and buy more product and grow the revenue stream. That's really the idea. And you do that by sourcing, getting more leads, buying more inventory, going out to the store more. And really, I do more online buying than I do retail buying because you could buy more quantity online. Sometimes when you go to the retail store, they have 5 items maybe of the one that you found, 10 items the most. Whereas online, you could place an order for 10 or sometimes more. And then an hour or 2 later, you could place another order. So you can get a lot more units online. Now, granted, online, the deals are not as good as some of the deals that you might find on clearance at the store. And it is what it is. So it kind of balances out. I'd like to do both. I got to say that I found better deals at the store than I have online, but I'm able to buy more quantity online than I am at the stores. So because of that, I do both. I try to hit the stores at least once a week, and now I want to scale that into a couple times a week. I'll be hitting some outlets later this week, and I source online basically every day. Again, that's the majority of how my time is spent. Do you ever do FBM? And if you do, did you have to set up shipping yourself, or Amazon already did it? I've done it before, but it's been a long time. I do most of my stuff FBA now. But I'm not going to lie. I'm interested in doing more FBM, because of some of the success I see people in the group have had. Do you set up the shipping yourself? You can use a template that they have inside Amazon already, and you just tell it what the weight is, and you're able to buy shipping right through Amazon. The same for sending products to the Amazon warehouse. You're able to buy the UPS shipping right then and there. You just give the dimensions of the box, the size, the weight, and you buy the shipping at a discount. Because Amazon at this point should just buy UPS. UPS is working for Amazon. Every time I go to the UPS store, the majority of the line there is people doing returns from Amazon. So, and then I'm there dropping off packages to go to Amazon. So a significant amount of their business is because of Amazon. So I don't know why they haven't acquired UPS. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, they definitely got to deal with them. So to send these big boxes over to Amazon's warehouse, it costs a lot less than if you were sending it to just a regular person. So usually it's about $1 less a pound to send to the Amazon warehouse. But to get started, guys, I do recommend just going Fulfilled by Merchant and sending these things yourself. You have those Easter items, you have those books, those games, those DVDs. It's not like you're going to start off with 100 items to list. Most people are going to have a handful of items, maybe 10, 20. And, you should be able to be capable of shipping those out yourself. I have the supplies to do FBM as well, like the poly mailer bags that you can just throw things in a bag. It has to be a bag with no brands on it. You can't use a bag that says Walmart on it or something. So there's some guidelines that you got to follow. But I have the bags available there on the supply channel. The link to the bags, you can buy them right off Amazon, or you can get them on Uline if you want to buy them in bulk. But you probably just start buying some supplies on Amazon. You can get the labels also on Amazon. B-Man also reminded me that if you have a UPS account, they'll send you some free labels. You got to talk to a rep, and it takes a little longer for you to get the labels. But that's also a a solution to get free labels. I really haven't gotten the free labels. I just paid the $15 and I overnight them. Again, I'm not trying to nickel and dime. I want to get the ball rolling, you know. How do you handle returns? Well, I don't handle the returns. The Amazon handles the returns. Amazon handles the returns for me, FBA. So I said this earlier. When someone returns it, they send it back to the warehouse. They deem if it's sellable or not, and they restock it for you. Now, if you do FBM, you handle your own return. They'll return the item on the Amazon website, and you'll be notified that they're sending it back directly to you. All right, guys, I gotta bounce. I gotta go pick up my kids, but love you guys. I'm available for one-on-ones. The FBA roadmap course is there for you guys to learn everything. If you want to learn all the tips and secrets, it's a full-fledged course, and the Discord is available open for free. You can jump in there and ask questions. I'm there most of the time, and if I'm not, someone else will probably answer your question. We have over 300 members in there, so I want to see you guys win. Stay strong out there. Peace.